Good morning and welcome to Face the Nation. We begin with House Speaker Nacy Peolsi. We spoke with her just after the conclusion of public impeachment hearings Friday. Our conversation started with President Trump's real-time tweet about Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch. Why do you think he was tweeting about her?
Well, he made a mistake, and he knows her strength, and he was trying to undermine it. Of course, presidents appoint ambassadors, but people don't insult people, especially when they're giving testimony before the Congress of the United States. I think even his most ardent supporters have to honestly admit this was the wrong thing for the president to do.
The White House said it was just his opinion. He wasn't trying to intimidate. What do you think?
But the president and perhaps some at the White House have to know that the words of the president weigh a ton. They are very significant, and he should not frivolously throw out insults. But that's what he does. I think part of it is his own insecurity as an imposter. I think he knows full well that he's in that office way over his head, and so he has to diminish everyone else.
Do you think that was witness intimidation in your book?
I haven't had a lot of time to pay attention to the president's tweets and the legal implications of them. I just think it was totally wrong and inappropriate and typical of the president.
When you tweeted today, you said Ambassador Yovanovitch was viciously smeared by Trump allies, removed from her post, and then threatened by the president. What part of that amounts to an impeachable offense or a crime?
Well, there are many things that the president does that are completely out of the question, that are not impeachable, and they're about the election. But when it comes to violating the Constitution of the United States, as he undermines our national security, jeopardizes the integrity of our elections, dishonors his own oath of office, that's about impeachment.
So the Constitution defines an impeachable offense as treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors. What do you think applies to this case?
We are unfolding the facts. That's what an inquiry is about.
You used the term bribery.
And yeah, I was translating from the Latin. That was in the context of e pluribus unum, for many one, and so I said for many one, quid pro quo, bribery. Yeah, that's what that is.
So, but do you expect that to be one of the articles?
I have no idea. There's not even a decision made to impeach the president. Mm-hmm. This is a finding of fact, unfolding of the truth, and then a decision will be made. And that is a decision that goes beyond me.
But you point out factually, right, that vote has not taken place to proceed necessarily with impeachment. But do you think you'll go through all of this and not vote to impeach the president?
That remains with the facts that the president has information that demonstrates his innocence in all of this, which we haven't seen. His transcript of a phone call is tucked away in a highly sensitive, compartmentalized intelligence server, so we can't see that. If he has information that is exculpatory, that means X, taking away culpa blame, then we look forward to seeing it.
You think Democrats have had a good week?
Well, I think the American people have had a good week. I think truth has had a good week. I think patriotism has had a good week. And I think the Constitution has had a good week. I don't think the president has had a good week.
Well, Republicans argue here.
You know what, if we could just talk about what we want to do. I really have a real discomfort level of responding to what Republicans say because they are in denial about what has happened in the country. So if you want to ask me about where we're going on this, I'm happy to respond to that. But I find it a waste of my time and yours to just be talking about what Republicans say.
Yeah.
I want to just let you respond, though, to the argument that's being made in messaging by Republicans here, that the grounds for the impeachment...
Let their argument stand, because it's on such quicksand that I don't even want to have it given any more visibility.
Thank you, Nacy.
Any of their misrepresentations of what they say. And I say that out of great respect for you, because I respect you as a great journalist, and I'm honored to have this interview with you. But I say to everybody else, I'm not here to talk about what they say, because they're not facing the reality of what's happening to our country. And this is about our democracy that is at risk with this president in the White House.
So Chairman Schiff has said he learned of the whistleblower complaint September 9th. The aid was released days later, the military aid that's in question here. Do you see a connection there?
Of course, the president wasn't going to, the Republicans like to say, if you want to talk about them, oh, it doesn't matter, the aid was released. No, the whistle was blown. The whistle was blown, and that was blown long before we heard about it. Don't forget that in between all of that came the Inspector General, an Inspector General appointed by President Trump. And the Inspector General said that this was of urgent concern. And so that is what intervened.
Can you help walk the American people through what happens next? We have another week of hearings.
Yes.
There'll be an intelligence report written up. And then what? Does the president get, as he says, to confront his accuser or get due
What do you mean
process?
confront his accuser? Confront the whistleblower?
Presumably,
Well,
that's what
I
he
will
means.
make sure he does not intimidate the whistleblower. So the president could come right before the committee and speak all the truth that he wants if he
You
wants
don't
to.
expect him
If
to
he
do
wants
that.
to take the oath of office, or he could do it in writing. He has every opportunity to present his case. But it's really a sad thing. I mean, what the president did was so much worse than even what Richard Nixon did. But at some point, Richard Nixon cared about the country enough to recognize that this could not continue. The Intelligence Committee is leading this part of the inquiry. There are other depositions that are being taken by more committees. So some of the depositions will continue, and then what takes place in the intelligence public will continue for another week. I don't know how much longer. I guess it depends on how many more witnesses they have. That's up to the committee. I don't guide that. That's up to the committee.
You expect that to be wrapped up before the end of the year?
I have no idea. Again, I don't have any
No timetable for that.
No, I mean, it is self-evident that we have open hearings for the next week. I don't know if there are any beyond that. Then we're out for Thanksgiving. Doesn't mean depositions couldn't be taken during that time. And then when we come back, by then maybe a decision, or maybe they have more hearings. And then I have 6 committees who have been working on all of this, and those 6 chairmen have been very involved in how we will proceed.
Does that mean that'll be potentially included in an impeachment? That you might broaden this beyond the issue related to Ukraine?
Well, that's not up for me. That's what the facts will determine. We're also proceeding in the courts. And this week we had another powerful decision by a court. Now the president is appealing it to the Supreme Court that the president should release his financial documents. We've won all of the cases in the court on this. Roger Stone, 7 counts was it that he was found guilty? Manafort is in prison. Michael Cohen, the president's lawyer, is in prison. There's so much wrongdoing attached with all of this. But we have to keep it very precise in terms of the President of the United States and the Constitution of the United States. And that is what this is about. And it's very serious. And none of us came here to impeach a president. This is very sad. At the same time, as I say, we're trying to pass a trade bill, pass our appropriations bills, Voting Rights Act, whether it's background checks, climate action now, equal pay for equal work, raising the minimum wage, all of the issues that we're working on for the good of the American people. So this isn't, while this is a concentration of our conversation here, it's not what we do in a day.
You met with the Treasury Secretary this week, and he said the White House has no intention of allowing another government shutdown.
Agreed. We're all in
Are you
agreement
confident
on
you
that.
can avoid one?
Well, let us hope that left to their own devices, the appropriators can avoid that.
Does that mean Democrats will provide funding for the border wall?
No, it does, we have well over $1 trillion worth of decisions to make. I don't know why we would go to that. The president hasn't built any new wall in the whole term of office. I think that his comments about the wall are really an applause line at a rally, but they're not anything that he's serious about.
When